Every once in a while, you come across a company that just gets it. Purpose, craft, community. Pingree Detroit is one of those rare ones. Worker-owned, veteran-led, and rooted right here in the city. I sat down with CEO Jarret and co-owner and VP of Footwear Operations, Nate Crawford II. Two people who are taking craftsmanship and sustainability truly serious. This conversation revealed the true fabric of this city. It's about designing something real, woven deep, literally from Detroit's soul. This is what I love when handing out the Motor City Crowns. I want to tell you and the people about how I came across Pingree in the first place.
Okay.
I remember years ago, I had seen an ad. I think it might have been somebody reposted or something, and it was about your products. And I was like, this is really cool. Like, I love anything to do with Detroit, especially when it's homegrown, and having a purpose behind it was, okay, we're recycling stuff from the auto industry, which is the biggest part of Detroit. You know,
facts.
Name of the podcast, Motor City Crowns. You know, that's where it comes from, the auto industry. So there was also, I think it was like a week or two later, I started following you on Instagram, and you had a contest, and it was to win a mouse pad and the coasters with the, I gave them to my brother-in-law. I can't remember what it was. There was the train station on it. Sure. That's what it was. And I won, and I was like, what? Like, I never win anything.
Okay. I didn't realize you were the winner. That's amazing.
So I still use that mouse pad to the day.
All right.
Yeah. It's great. Like, some mice don't work great, but I still use it. You know, I was like, switch it up, because, you know, leather isn't the best, but it works for the one mouse I have. So it's good. So from there, I had recommended so many other people getting stuff, mouse pad, the dog collars, and bags like you guys are making. So I think I had at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 people buy some stuff from you. So it went on, and I see so many different things you guys are making. You got on to shoes, you got on to folios, and now you're making, what do you call it? The new thing you just like released the other day?
The Detroit Valet Day. The catch-all, the Pingree catch-all valet tray. Yeah.
Valet tray, yeah. Kind of like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I seen that, and I was like, that's very, very sophisticated, very cool.
Thank you.
So you guys have evolved so much from the beginning until now.
Yes.
What have you enjoyed the most from that evolution?
Wow. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, the evolution over time. It's been 10 years for us in January. Myself, 7 years. And that journey to see us go from bags and maybe small wallets to footwear, to different kind of footwear. We got low tops, we got Strider, Chuckers, to different kind of bags. We get a lot of feedback from customers, and they can't get in different ballparks and arenas. So that feedback over the years, we took that knowledge, took it back to our team, got the right sizes to get you in all the ballparks and arenas. So that's a heavy seller.
Motown venue bag.
Yeah, that Motown venue bag, man. Being able to grab great salesmen and women on our salespeople on our team, some great designers, being able to add people to our team and becoming co-owners themselves.
Yeah.
That evolution over this time, and seeing us also expand into more stores is awesome. So Pingree Detroit, man, this is awesome. Endless possibilities of what we can do.
Absolutely.
And the evolution, we are really rooted in this idea of continuous improvement. So like our bag, for instance, the Adeline was one of our first crossbody bags that we came out with for women more specifically. And the early designs, we were learning design process internally. We had some key mentors and people in place, but it took us years to really establish what we use now, where we're having 100 conversations with customers before we come out with the product.
Yeah.
We have a rough idea. We're getting their feedback on it. They're saying, well, this zipper isn't quite big enough, or, I wish the pocket was just a little wider, or, I really wish there was a pocket for my tissues. Like, we literally, our most recent bag, we have a pocket that didn't exist prior, but so many women were saying, I want to put this and this in there, and I really want a zipped closure. And so our design evolution is always geared towards how we're going to really solve problems for people. And our products themselves, this kind of urban utility design aesthetic, it's going to be durable, it's going to be well made. We guarantee our products for life. But seeing the evolution has been, to Nate's point, people gave us feedback. Hey, if you had this, I sure would love to buy it. And we're not going to make every single thing people ask for, but if you get 5, 6, 10, all of a sudden the 30th person asks for this product, it's kind of a good sign that maybe we should come out with something like this, like our newest wallet. That's a traditional billfold, right? The one in my pocket, this Willow Run wallet. This was an evolution of that. The 25th person asking more like 100 people over the course of a few years, and our design decisions, how we craft, who we craft with. It's always rooted in how do we solve those problems, make a difference for community, and hopefully inspire people along the way.
That's great.
Thanks.
So when you say you're getting these suggestions and feedback, is it from when you have your shops and pop-ups at Eastern Market and the Rust Belt Market? Is that like you're able to do that? Like, people come up to you like, I really love this, but if it had this, it might be perfect.
It's a few ways. So there's the digital way where if you haven't yet, you'll be getting soon, because I see that gorgeous hat you're wearing right there, absolutely. The Pingree hat. So at least a couple times a year, we'll send an email out to our customers and say, hey, got this product. How do you like it? On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the craftsmanship? Scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the customer service, the shipping timeline? And then, on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely are you to refer us to your friends and family? That's called a Net Promoter Score. That tells us if we're getting 9s and 10s, people really love the product, they love the store, they want to tell people about us.
Yeah.
If we're getting a 4 or 5, we're emailing that person saying, hey, what happened? Historically, over 15,000 customers to date, and we have a 9.8 out of 10 Net Promoter Score on average over the last 10 years. But in that, there's always at the bottom, it says, if you'd like to see something else, is there something you'd like to see us make that we currently don't make? That we get a ton of feedback from. We get emails all the time where someone's on our website and they say, I was looking for fill in the blank. I don't see it. Could you make one? And then we create a tally of that. And if we get to a certain number, then I bring it to the design team and I'm saying, hey, y'all, we're getting all this feedback, or other people who help with customer service might say, hey, look at this tile. Let's review this. We're getting all these requests for this type of, like the DOP kit, for instance, or for our valet tray. We're kind of we're trying to be receptive, and we're small enough to where we can receive this, and it's really good. And then the in-person, when Nate and I or the teams at Rust Belt, Eastern Market, Arts Beats Neats, down the alley, we're able to get that feedback live, where someone's like, this wallet's great, but I wish you made something like this, or this bag's great, do you have something just a little smaller?
You're able to make those changes. It definitely makes it seem so much better, like, as a customer. You're just like, man, these guys are really listening,
But we're always doing our best to be adaptive, to let our design decisions be guided by the folks that we're making these for.
We like to leave you with, like you said, that option of not only in person letting us know, but for your listeners, if they would like to join our newsletter on PingreeDetroit.com, they always can. Join that newsletter, and we send out those monthly newsletters with some with newer products as they come out. And a dad joke here and there with you. We'll cook up some dad jokes, man.
They're not always the best, but they're always, they make you chuckle. Yeah. Even if it's how bad that joke was. And they're original. So these are original jokes.
That's good. So I want to go back a little bit. I got invited to the 10-year anniversary investors celebration. And just investment disclosure, I actually am invested in Pingree Detroit because there was an opportunity you guys had. I believe it started in November, December-ish, or ended around there. So I had just seen it. It was like last week, and I'm like, of course, it was minimum $100. I was like,
your 1 million was so appreciated. It was a very generous $1 million. So thank you for that.
Million, man. But no, I was like, I can definitely do that. Like, even it's a small amount, but let me do it. I love this company. Let me at least be a part of it in some way. So at that celebration, I come in the door. It was snowing that day, randomly snowing. Do you remember that? It was like a whiteout outside. Yeah.
Slush.
It was gross.
Snowing, freezing rain. Yeah.
What was it, like March? I don't know. No, maybe February. I don't know.
I think it was.
No, it was mid-January. That's what it was.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I come in, and the first person I see is Nate. He greets me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? You can come on in here." And I'm like, okay, talk for a second. And I go sit down. You guys had some pie. There's drinks and get from around the corner. And then you come and sit down with me and talk to me. And I give you the pitch about the podcast. And, another disclosure. This is, well, of course they've already seen this, the sponsor the podcast. And he loved the idea of it. And I was like, all right, let's do something. Hook me up with the discount code and ready to roll. So, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the podcast episodes with the ad that I throw in there.
Oh, that's what's
but it's just nice, and like I didn't really try to go all out on it, but like I go with it to talk about the company a little bit, and at the end I put "Shop with Purpose" Pingree Detroit, and I think that's just like man. It sews it all together, and is almost like goes exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. No, complete pun intended. I already see how he. Is that how it is working with him?
All day, every day.
They gotta put up with it.
I do that too sometimes.
We're really grateful. I mean, to have a community partner like you, where you're out here storytelling, inspiring folks, and they have all to lift up community businesses. It's not transactional; it's reciprocity. We're giving, absolutely. You're giving. So we're honored to have.
I didn't say it at first, but thank you for coming on, because it's an opportunity for me to see exactly what this company is all about in person and understand who you guys are. So I truly appreciate it, and I know the listeners and watchers will enjoy this.
Awesome.
So, Jarret, I want to ask you about some of the leadership roles that you've been in. You've been in a role of leadership across a lot of companies in your career, and every company wasn't really necessarily just for you to make money. It was with companies and organizations that were like for a good cause. How do those experiences translate to how you lead now?
It's a good question. So again, for the listeners, my name is Jarret Schluff. I'm co-founder and CEO of Pingree Detroit, also founder of a new startup called Electric Boil, the world's first battery-powered portable induction cooking stove and generator. So that's fun. Also made in Detroit. And in my career, so Pingree is actually my first ever business, but some of the organizations, to your point, that I've been a part of, I helped lead development, and I was a caseworker for VIP mentoring that worked to find and match mentors and support families with children of incarcerated parents. And so in that role, learned what good leadership can look like, where you're really invested in the community, the people, but also what not the greatest leadership can look like, where their priorities maybe didn't always align with what the needs were identified from the families, and what the mentors named as the support they were needing that wasn't often always there. And then when we, the caseworkers, tried to support, there was always a lack of resources and funding. So I felt like in those roles, there are things I would have done differently if I was a CEO of that nonprofit, and supported the caseworkers more and supported the families more, and maybe even taken a pay cut to make sure those services were available. And I don't ever believe in the power of making someone wrong. Like, you did what you were going to lead, how you're going to lead. I might do a little differently. So I want to always have opportunities for people to determine for themselves what they need, and then support them to create those structures and that support system, versus saying, I think I know what you need best. Here's a support that you didn't really ask for, but I'm going to tell you, here's the support. And so I learned there. I was lucky enough prior to that. I worked for the state of Michigan in the Office of Pollution Prevention. That's more of a government job. My job, I created this thing called the Byproduct Synergy Initiative from the state of Michigan. It turned into the materials marketplace, but it was just me and my director that started the thing with the goal of how can we create a sharing of waste streams for corporations, nonprofits all across the state, where we literally did everything from taking like headliner waste turned into insulation, and another place took a waste turned into bat houses. Eventually, a waste product became insulation that was used for the coats used by the Empowerment Plan.
Oh, wow.
If you've ever heard of them, they turned sleeping bags into coats.
He's naming more things off that I saw on LinkedIn. So.
And so like that taught me about the importance of being really nimble, flexible, very little budget. And then from there, also, in a climate organizing, I was the Midwest director of a nonprofit that did work around climate, environmental justice, social justice, where I got paid to I worked with 52 campaigns that I helped lead and build and manage and support teams and teach facilitation and teach how to build teams and how to wrangle media. And I got to just support people to bring their best foot forward. And so I learned in that the importance of letting people, again, go at their own unique pace, let them define what their vision was, what motivates them, and then teach them how to do the same thing I was coaching them to do, to coach other people to grow the team. Where we grew from groups of 8 up to 52 in 6 months using this kind of snowflake model of organizing. And so I became an organizer. Before that, you go back far enough. I also worked as in constituent services. So I worked for Senator Carl Levin back when he was a senator. I worked in VA, in veterans issues, and energy work. So I learned about the plight a lot more than you could ever learn just working for a senator. But I learned a small piece about how much we need to better serve our veterans. And in the energy side, learned a lot about the sustainability, and there learn the importance of honoring your word. If you wrote a letter on behalf of the senator to someone, I'm going to find a way to do something for you. You got to put in the work to make sure you support that person. You might be their last hope. Yeah. And so just really honoring the word, the importance of integrity, having your top goals line up with your strategies to accomplish those goals. And then if you go back even further, I was a director when I was in undergrad, doing work around what works best and support students, and built disc golf courses and random things I won't go into. I'm not going to get into my college career, but leadership to me is leading heart forward, leading in ways that allow the community to be at the forefront and making sure it's what's best for the neighbor, best for the community, best for the person. Mm-hmm. And if you're in a profit business, how can you balance all those with profit? And so when Pingree was designed, it was designed to be a worker-owned company that is this kind of quadruple bottom line business that really leads from the community on up.
And Nate, you were in the military, correct?
No.
Was it the Marines?
It was Air Force.
Air Force.
It was Air Force. Mm-hmm.
And I know in the military, they teach a lot about leadership.
Yeah, indeed.
How do you see a difference in the teachings of military taught leadership from what you see as a civilian and at Pingree?
The differences, we're working on a co-op. So right there, you're
so you kind of all dynamics you kind of all are leaders in your own way.
In a sense, yeah. In the military, it's chain of command.
Oh yeah.
You might have that with us in certain departments. So if I'm the lead for footwear, I might be the chain of that command. Mm-hmm. But in the whole essence of what we do, if I have an idea, I'm not just going to go with it just because I'm at the top of the footwear department. I'm going to bring it to the team to see, we're going to work on it together. So that dynamic is structured differently. Jarret mentioned having integrity, and that was I think the attractiveness to this organization or this worker on the co-op that brought me to it, coming out of the military, looking for work, looking for well-meaningful work. In the Air Force is safety first, service before self, and integrity. Yeah. And those 3 core things stuck with me. I was kind of involved in those three core values early on before I got in the military, being in the community, March of Dimes walks, breast cancer awareness walks, all those. They had like so many breast cancer awareness walks down at the Fisher Building back in the day in the 80s.
Down in Belle Isle.
Yeah, Belle Isle. Yeah. Oh man, that was the joint. And they had, being involved in those, organizations and within the community, and PAL, Little League football. So those are some of the organizations that helped me build my character and that leadership role. I was a quarterback, so that, you know, seeing different perspectives, talking to different people, seeing their perspective, that kind of built it up. And in the military, what is similar to, they ask you when you're about to rank up, there's some things you need to be aware of, not only how you lead, but how do other people view your leadership. So you need that feedback. So, you know, you're not, in order to learn or in order to teach, you need to learn twice. You know, you're not just learning what you're the product, the substance of what you're trying to teach, but you got to learn how to actually teach it. So getting all those different aspects, from the military, bringing it in and adapting it to the worker on a co-op has been, it's been some challenges, and it's a welcome challenge though, because it's a different, it's a work environment that we wanted to create for ourselves. So we have to sometimes, be aware of that sometimes, that, you know, take care of yourselves. If some well-being issues that you may need, take the time. This ain't the military where it's like, we need you, you know, you got to be there, rain, see the snow. Yeah. So it's a little different concept, and being in that environment put the, it made the work environment much easier. Especially when I was looking for work, different, trying to go from a normal business, setup versus a worker on a co-op. When I learned about it, I had a couple meetings with Jarret. He was telling me about what he wants to do. I was like, oh man, this is under the trade, talking about ownership, working in the community, helping with veterans. What do I sign up? This is endless possibilities of what we can do. So, seeing those, not necessarily the differences and some of the similarities with the military and the worker on a co-op is pretty fascinating.
So did you know Jarret before you started working with Pingree? Or
No. I was in between work, and happened to see Pingree Detroit was looking for some footwear makers. They were trying to bring out the footwear.
And you knew of the company before you signed up? No
idea. Just happened to scroll past. I think I might have seen an ad or the picture scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and YouTube, or Facebook and Instagram. And I was like, let me check them out. They're talking about, at the time, which I used to get confused when we first started working, people would come up to me and ask me, are you guys using the recycled rubber for the tires? I was like, no. And I used to think that's what we did till I ended up joining the company. I was like, no, we use upcycled leather from auto industry. So that link to that other company using repurposing leather, I was like, I want to get involved. I'm an 80s baby. Yeah. So I grew up in Captain Planet. Yeah. And to see what we're doing today
the power is yours.
Bonkers. Yes. Kwame in the building. So, So, to see that and to have an impact, to see I had an avenue to put forth the effort to do something, to leave the planet better than I didn't inherit it. The last thing, I saw some potentials in the future. I want to eventually get dual citizenship where I can do, planting trees. They got this, the Great Green Wall in Africa, where they're planting trees from Senegal across, if it's not the Sahel, but it's across that Sahara all the way to Ethiopia, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's so endless possibilities of what we we can do with Pingree Detroit, man.
Oh, that's something that you're doing through your own company.
I would like to eventually.
Oh, okay.
That's the beauty in our business, is that we're able to expand.
Awesome.
And
I love that idea.
Yeah, thanks. Man.
As we offset our own environmental carbon footprint and the offsets of just the cost of doing business, most businesses don't account for that actual cost. And so instead of all the people paying for it, we're like, let's build that into our actual model so that we have the ability to plant trees, so that if we know that it's going to be shipping from here to here and they're using diesel to ship, okay, let's account for that. When we're making these little metal swivel snaps, American made, there's a footprint, greenhouse gas to get emitted. let's take care of our shared home here together. And so we can plant trees in places and literally offset that. So people have the ability to offset their carbon and the greenhouse gas when they buy a product. It gives them that chance to do that. And whatever's not offset, we cover it as a business.
Wow.
And so right now we do in tree plantings, but we have visions to expand that and be more involved and create more impact across.
If you ever looking to do tree plantings, hit me up. I'll definitely down to help.
Man, thanks,
Okay.
man. Thanks. And we also do, to keep it out that landfill, we donate our remnants. So we have bags of treasure, as we call it.
I seen that. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
We sell it, was it a pound for $5? More than likely, we'd probably give you an extra pound of some of the remnants.
I like trying to make certain stuff. I've tried to make bags and never turned out as good as those. But I definitely, my girl sews, so I definitely would take some stuff, man. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. So as Nate was saying, that what drew him to the company was the owner worker concept and a lot of the values that you were telling him about. How did that idea of starting a business as a co-op, how did that start and why did you do that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Early on, we often like to say, Pingree didn't start as a product, it started in purpose. And the purpose was, how do we create stronger neighborhoods? How do we create work and employment opportunities that are meaningful, that are geared towards supporting the community that currently is looking for that opportunity? And so it started with that in mind of like, okay, what would a business look like that actually maximizes well-being? And that place of curiosity led to a deep dive into research where I'd previously known about, there's this thing called the Highlander model of organizing. If you go back and look at the civil rights era, how they organized, it was using this model where you do listening campaigns. So whether you're Fannie Lou Hamer or you're looking at some of the best leaders of that time, they went and they listened and they asked people before they ever did, lunch counter sit-ins and before they did bus boycotts, they asked the people, what would be the challenge? Hey, if we did this, what would happen? Well, I don't know, there'd be some challenges like, how am I going to get to work? Or how, what am I going to do for lunch? And they had to problem solve, and they were able to do that because the people told them what would be the challenges and the opportunities. And so before we ever started, and early on, I was able to hire a young man who was a Marine, who had a JD, a master's in engineering, was looking for work, couldn't find work, didn't have stable housing. I actually, while I was still the Midwest director for this nonprofit, I actually hired him to work with me to sit down and do a listening campaign. Before Pingree's ever started, we spent 3 months. We sat down with block clubs, faith leaders, churches themselves, veteran shelters, veterans groups, just organizations across the board, and asked the question, what are the needs? What are the gaps? How can we be of service? And what does support look like? And the answer to those questions were meaningful living wage work. Yeah. And folks who want to work with their hands, folks who wanted to be a part of something, not just make a paycheck, not just another job, but like work that was meaningful. And so it started with that question mark. And then my commitment was, I don't want to just be the CEO of a company that grows and sells and then it maximizes profits. So the question was, how do we ingrain in the operating agreement? So we're an L3C, which if you're an LLC, you have an operating agreement. If you're a C Corp, you have bylaws. So for our operating agreement, it's actually built in by law that our board has to approve certain things where the impact is built in, and our cooperative model is built in to ensure that decisions are made democratically. So to Nate's point, like, even if I want, like, I could, yes, make a unilateral decision, but it's in a freaking agreement that I won't do that on a lot of the items. Yes, there's a difference between governance and management. And if Nate had to go get every single decision ran by every single team, we would be a cluster and it would never get anything done. Yeah. So we're not saying that. We're not a horizontal. Right. I've done organizing in groups that were completely flat, and people still were leaders. They just never were called leaders. And then it was just like behind the scenes, it didn't work. Like, it was just a mess. And so what we do is we have certain clarity around, okay, if there's a decision that's going to impact everybody, the worker owners all need to say in this. And for certain decisions, there are going to be people you're going to want to bring in. So if Nate's got a new color story idea for a shoe, he's going to want to run it by the team and get feedback and have a scheduled meeting to talk about that and do the research and do the mood boarding and identify what's in trend and what we have access to from the automotive industry and what we want to unveil for this versus other products. So there are those processes in place. And so we wanted a worker ownership model to not only have democratic decision making, but also how do we create generational wealth?
Yes.
Intentionally, by structuring in the business itself, we have it so that 77 cents of every dollar in profit goes right back to worker owners or our social impact. And so then you got, the 14% that goes to investors like you, 9% that goes back to our founders circle, which, technically I'm the only co-founder. I call myself a co-founder. I believe you create something with the community of others, and every person that got coffee with me to mentor me early on, the early on donors and volunteers, I consider all of them my founders, my co-founders.
Wow. Okay.
And so, but there is a founder share where I didn't pay myself for the first 5 years. Jeez. I literally wrote the business plan for Pingree Detroit while bartending, while working security in a parking lot, while also doing consulting, and while also, I guess my last one was, I was also doing like leadership development work on the side. So, because I quit Pingree, I was like, I'm going all in. Or not Pingree, I quit 350.org to go all in on Pingree. And so, yeah, it was important for me to have it ingrained in the institution that we would be equitable, so that if someone else took the reins as a CEO, which was by design, I'm not going to be the CEO forever. I'd love to transition to focus just on sustainability work and partnership work and sales and the things that I love the most, where I don't need to be in the back end spreadsheet all day and be focusing just on scaling the business. And so when that time comes, ensuring that it doesn't change the values, that we're still rooted in maximizing well-being of the worker, the neighborhood, the customer, and the environment.
I'm proud to welcome two of Pingree Detroit's finest to the show, and even more honored to have them as a sponsor. They're a worker-owned company based right here in the Motor City, creating top-tier sustainable goods with real purpose. Whether it's handcrafted leather bags, accessories, or even upcycled pet gear, every piece reflects Detroit's legacy of craftsmanship and innovation. Their tagline says it best: "It smells like a new car because it nearly was." That's because many of their products are made using premium leather reclaimed from the auto industry, turning what could have been waste into something powerful, practical, and stylish. It's Detroit ingenuity through and through. As a listener of the Motor City Crowns podcast, you get 10% off when you shop. Just use the code CROWNS at checkout. That's CROWNS. Head over to PingreeDetroit.com and shop with purpose. Now let's get back to the show. I think you definitely have to be proud of yourself to be able to continue those processes for 10 years now.
Man,
and you to be a part of it for 7 years, and like all of this, like I have no business. I'm not business savvy at all. I know nothing about how to run a business, but you're telling me about to make decisions democratically and to do one thing and another. And it's very impressive to me that you've been able to do that for 10 years and create a product that is amazing. And it's multiple products.
Yeah. Like
you were saying how you asked all these different people, they want to work with their hands. They want to feel like they're having an impact, and they just, they want a living wage. And part of that, I think, with the working with your hands, you're making a tangible product. Like, not everything that has a purpose or impact is always a tangible product, but when you have something you can see and you can hold and you can pass on to somebody, check this out, it feels a bit more, I don't know, like prideful to show off.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It is. It's beautiful to have your hands in it. It's one of the selling points of a lot of the products that you get to sometimes meet the makers of these products at Eastern Market. Yeah. So the in-person connection is awesome, man. That is. I had a point, but I was trying to remember what you had said something. Crap.
hold on to that.
I will do it. I will.
How about you tell me a little bit about some of the collaborations that you guys have gotten into? I mentioned a little earlier, you guys are now in the DIA at the airport, talking about the Bronco stuff. How about you get into that a little bit?
Man, so many collabs from Detroit Mercy, UOD, to can I plant Marin?
Sure, yeah.
Plant Marin. Wow.
Over 150.
150 collabs so far.
Yes.
We're cross-branded with from Corvette to Dodge to
Firefighters.
Yep. Pardon?
Firefighters.
Yeah, we've done small runs. We have some cross-branded, but hopefully even some more fun, exciting announcements soon on the Detroit Firefighters tip. But yeah, you're the first person to know that yesterday we got the green light to do this collaboration with Ford Bronco. So anyone that's got a Ford Bronco or anyone that just loves the brand
gets a free pair of shoes.
Exactly. Yeah. No. With for $399, it's a free pair.
Yeah.
$399, and there, yours. But no, we'll be taking this leather. A lot of it's Ford leather, and we'll be crafting dog leashes and wallets and a couple bags. And so we're crafting products where the Ford Bronco logo's on the front and our logo's on the inside, and be available to folks on Bronco Nation. And so
dog leashes and horse leashes for Bronco.
Exactly. Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. All the essentials. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. But really, we often say that relationships are our strongest currency. Yeah. And so a lot of the collabs have been smaller, but yeah, like we're in the airport. Right now you can go to the DIA and shop a cross-branded collection of stuff for the DIA, and we're always looking for those opportunities to do shared storytelling, create shared impact. So you can go to 6 now different Ritz-Carltons, and you'll see our coasters at Ritz-Carlton hotels. They don't have our logo on them, but we are making them for them. So that's more like white label production. So we're always looking to have a premium experience and have things that are quality and well made, and show the value.
These big brands are coming to you, say, "I need something made.
Exactly.
Can you help me out?" And you're like, "I got it."
Exactly.
We can hook it up. Born in Detroit too, downtown, down on Woodward.
Absolutely. You talk a lot about the leadership roles and talking about the influence and the training that you've had in military, and the leadership that all the training you've had over the years, and how you've led others. Leadership that I've understood is, it's like the awesome responsibility to see those around you rise up. And when you're able to help those people around you rise up, and you see them do it on their own after you've already influenced them, it becomes such a beautiful place to exist. And I'm sure that's exactly how it is at Pingree.
Oh man.
You see one of your newer workers, they just start doing things a lot better, and you keep going. And I was going to ask you, how do you become co-owner at Pingree?
Yeah. So within 1 year of working with us, you let one of us know that our worker owners, there's 5 of us currently. You say, "Hey, I'd like to petition to become a worker owner." And then, so right now we've got 3 people who just started on a track to start their worker owner training. And so you go through the process of learning cooperative decision-making and what goes into running a co-op. And really we peel back a layer into, from a business perspective, there's a lot that we hold as business owners, and there are things that to go from a worker to worker owner, there are some things you learn along the way. And so we go through about a 2 to 3 month process of training. Each week, usually we have another module that we're covering. We develop this with support from the Center for Community-Based Enterprises, C2BE, C2BE.org. They also do amazing work to help cooperatives, and also
Detroit Community Wealth Fund.
Detroit Community Wealth Fund. So they helped us in tandem develop this curriculum. And then you share in the profits, you share in the governance side of the business. But really at the core, we want everyone on our team to be a leader and to lean into themselves. Like, we want you to be your best version. We want to support that. We try to do things differently. We're really intentional around, like, even today we were having a conversation. I won't talk specifics because it's not public, but a potential collab with a potential organization there was certain features of this material that made it kind of challenging to do. We'd have to change our pattern. There's also some aspects that there was concerns around, is this a match for our brand? And certain people raised concerns and other people, well, no, I'm fine with that. And we had to kind of have that on the court conversation, where in a normal business, like, cool, thank you for input. We'll let you know what we decide. Most businesses, I feel like that's ego. And yes, sometimes it's important. You can have too many cooks in the kitchen. That's a real thing. But if you are cooperative and you value and realize that person's input might represent a lot of other people's input, so it's important to make space for those voices to be heard. There might be times where people aren't comfortable just sharing that information. So making sure you have different ways to, whether it's asking folks for written feedback or doing small, if we're doing a full group decision-making process, breaking into groups of 2 to talk just one-on-one about a certain issue so that everyone has space to give voice. And then, hey, now report out what your group talked about. It makes it more accessible for folks to offer feedback, to be a part of the broader decision-making process. And we're always trying our best to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to take these people who have usually, probably more than likely, you don't just start as on the track, is like right as hired in. You're like, oh, I want to be a co-owner. That's not how it works. You work there a year and then figure out, okay, is that worth my time to go into, right?
We've had, the person that's just now starting training, on like the second week, like, so what do I do to become a co-owner? Like that's what I want to do. I want to learn everything. Yeah. I want to be, I want to run this show, so there are those people for sure. But yeah, the actions, you need to show up on time. You need to be consistent with your work ethic, and we're not going to always be on our A game, but it's important to lean on your team and let your team know if you're having an off day, and you, like to Nate's point, sometimes you got to take a half day or you need a wellness day, and we can lean on each other. We're nimble enough. We can support each other, but it does create impact. And so if it becomes a consistent thing, and so we're always trying to lean on each other, but yeah, the work owner piece, it can start immediately, but usually it's within that 1 year.
So Nate, I'm not sure if maybe you can answer the question, but Pingree started with using recycled leather. Is there any other piece of like the auto industry that might be incorporated into like other recycled pieces? I know that's kind of tough.
No, it's good. Oh, this is perfect. Perfect to the expansion part of our work owner co-op, to go from just utilizing upcycled, majority of it auto leather. We had some hemp blended material earlier. We used to do some totes and drawstrings, but then we started getting, oh my God, it's like we started going into junkyards and cutting out seatbelts, turning in those. Oh, yeah, we turned those. We used to advertise. We turned that into a dog leash or lead. Yeah. And a company called Autoliv here in Michigan, they do the webbing for seatbelts and airbags. Okay. And they saw us doing that, and they said, how about you guys stop that and take our waste? Because after every crash test, they can't sell or reuse that seatbelt material. So we like, yeah, give it here. Let's do it.
Why can't they reuse it? You mean if it's been in a junkyard?
Already been tested. Yeah, it's been tested.
They do one crash test. Yeah. And like they go do a whole roll.
Oh, you mean them? Okay. I thought you meant from the junkyard. I was like, you're not using it as a seatbelt.
No, those we used to wash, bring them back, clean them up.
We used to take that from the junkyard, use the buckles as a belt buckle.
Yeah, we had an awesome coworker that used to make some belts. That was pretty cool. But we started doing those, and that seatbelt material. They also supplied some airbag material, some plastics that we were able to utilize as our ID window for some of the wallets.
There you
go. New Balance jumped on board. We linked up with those guys. They have some upcycled pig suede, nubuck.
What would you use the airbag for?
Still doing some R&D. Stick around.
Okay. We're exploring for a liner, for like a liner. It's waterproof. So we explored it. Could we do for some like accents on shoes? We were exploring it. It's really labor intensive to deconstruct it.
Is it soft on the inside of it?
It's kind of it's almost soft and slippery. It's like a nylon. Inside, so it's
maybe a liner.
Except you want your hat to be breathable. And so
that's just an idea. Because I've seen like silk liners on hats.
Sure. So there's a lot of
maybe
potential.
A winter hat.
Exactly. There you go. Right.
Endless possibilities. That's the beauty. And when you talked about those 10 years, and I remember what I want to say, when you talk about those 10 years and being able to go over those 10 years and still be here, what I did learn about work owner co-ops and business in general, because I'm not a capitalist, but that's why I wanted to join a work owner co-op. coming to find out that most businesses either fail or go bankrupt within the first 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, what gives me that battery in my back to just keep on kicking butt is that we did this through COVID. So we were popping off before COVID came, and to see us able to we stopped our operations, linked up with our relationships in the community. So we linked up with like Tandy Leather, Detroit Denim, some other small businesses in the community. And we did those face shields for the first responders.
I do remember that.
So we knocked that out and then got back to business. And to see that expansion over time is, this is endless possibilities of what we can do but this upcycled material. So whether it come from the auto industry, New Balance, maybe some airlines with their recycled seats,
Lear,
Amtrak,
Eagle Ottawa, Perrone, Adient, Magna, so many folks have supported us where when they're determining the color, the shade, the texture, the warmth of leather, they're those small sample pieces that they can't do anything with once the automotive industry reviews. It's a one or two of those, sometimes the full height, sometimes a small piece. They were just discarding that and writing off as a loss. They would much rather not do that. So they donate those to us. Sometimes we purchase larger pieces, but a lot of times they donate to support our mission. Yeah. And then when they're actually making the seats and making the steering wheels and making the dashboards, our dashboard vinyl that was going into Chryslers, we got the offcuts. That becomes a structure for our workfolios and a structure for some of our different products. So that gives it a little bit of rigidity when it's more of a softer material. Yeah. So we try to get real creative on how can we utilize some of this. We've sometimes had to turn stuff away because we had I won't name the company, but they wanted to give us all their scrap, but they're such tiny pieces that now if they would pay us to design a product and then they would buy that product, let's have that conversation. But sometimes hey, just take this, and we'd love to do a storytelling about how we're giving you all this, but it's not we have to create a new product. Right. And it's so much. It's like, we've kept 50,000 pounds of automotive material out of the landfill since 2015. They wanted to give us 5,000 pounds a month. So
you've gotten this leather from multiple different sources.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got so much. We do know what to do with it, but we try it. Yeah. The storage. It's
a challenge. Like right now we're trying to navigate
because your guys' building over on the west side isn't huge, but I'm assuming that whole top level is all just leather.
There's more materials up there. There's storage, there's shoemaking. Yeah. It's definitely an opportunity and a challenge. What we can't use are our partners over. They're now in Highland Park. They're called
Men on the Move.
They're another community partner, but they're called Next Styles, Black-owned, women-led business. Yeah. They take our materials we can't use, our scrap, we shred that. That becomes punching bag filler. That becomes filler for dog beds. That becomes...
where is this based out of? I think I heard
they just moved to Highland Park. They were in Detroit.
Okay.
They just moved their facility to Highland Park.
Styles.
Yep. And so they take our materials and shred what we can't use so that nothing is going to landfill from us. And definitely community partnerships for sure.
That's awesome. So I see all the work that you guys are doing. You're putting so much different aspects of who you are into the work, but people are more than the work that they do. And you've each put that spirit and you envelop that notion together. You're leading with being a co-founder, you're leading being a co-owner and making the lead design of shoemaking, right? Is that what it is?
Vice President of Footwear Operations.
Oh, there you go. A little more sophisticated. Yeah. So when you're doing all these things and you see new employees come in, new potential co-owners, how does that make you feel that you're rooted in this company and you see other people want to join?
They just added more fuel to the battery pack, man. I'm geeked. I'm like, the opportunity to grow this new member on our team, to see what inspires them. I'm what's the term? Sapiosexual, or one that loves creative minds, or one that likes people that think, or that are thinkers, or, I think that's what that is. But yeah, I love to see the creative mind, to go to work. Whatever comes out of that brain, whether I disagree or I'm indifferent or I agree, I want to see it all. And we're in that creative space. So awesome ideas come out of it. One of our newest team members, they created the dice tray, or the valet tray.
Yeah.
They are a avid D&D, Dungeons and Dragons player. So they brought this to our attention. It's like, hey, here's a cool idea. I love it. Let's do it.
I'm definitely
I'm on team.
I'm always losing my keys. And I was like, let's put it right in that little tray.
And that idea was a multi-purpose. It benefited their gaming environment, but it also was for the business or the hotels that we have our coasters in. So it's so many. I love the idea.
One product, but we essentially segmented. Yeah, 2 different venues. So they wanted to do this dice tray, and they had this idea. It's like, well, if it's modular, like one thing holds the dice, the other thing's the rolling tray, it's a TTRP, like, tabletop role-playing games. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of this is new territory for me. But it's a huge community. And they were like, well, it'd be so cool to make one out of, wood and leather, or can we just do one out of leather? And I've been trying to we've been approached by hotels and people and groups, and they wanted us to make, we have like 6 different version of prototypes. Never got it right. We're like, it's not there yet. We got to put it in the back burner. One day we'll be able to make one. And then this idea, I was like, I bet we could do both with this. And so I went to our partners at ASW, our Architectural Salvage Warehouse in Detroit.
Awesome.
They make a ton of all of our wooden boxes that you'll see at our pop-ups. We've done small run collabs with them in the past. They helped us. We co-created this with Kelly's lead on the design. And then, so it's the valet tray, but also it works as a dice tray. And so we have them on our website.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
Definitely going to roll some dice in there.
There we go.
Yeah. So off the concrete wall and save it. You might roll a 7 in there.
Not that dice. So I don't know if you remember, I sent you a text a while back and I said, try to come up with somebody for One More Crown. So now we're going to come up to this segment I like to call One More Crown, where I want to I'll highlight 2 people. We got 2 guests. I'll highlight 2 people. You each highlight somebody in the community that you think is doing some amazing work. It doesn't have to be in the same industry. It doesn't have to be necessarily in Pingree. It could be someone else, somebody who's, doing community work. Okay. Maybe it's another business owner. Maybe it's a musician, something like that. So if you guys want to go first.
It was more so, the people at these certain locations.
Like a group?
As a group. So you got Al Bulan Village on Harper and Van Dyke. They have some awesome, community rooted programs up there. Mama Shoe at, the village. She's off of Woodward. Mama Shoe.
Is that like off 7 Mile?
No, it's off of Woodward near Highland Park area. No, not Highland Park. It's beginning of Highland Park area. As you get closer to Davison, Mama Shoe has a village where she's bought the block, and she has she has the lighting fixture for the
solar
panel for the lighting, a basketball court on the street for the kids. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And then you have organizations like PAL Football. They're still in the community doing great work, and Detroit Boxing Gym.
Okay.
It's not what they like to say. It's not a boxing gym. It's set up like it, but it's intentional. It's maybe an outlet for those kids that may be restless and just gotta get some energy out. Yeah. But the intention is after school program type of thing. We donated some leather to those guys as well. So these are some of the organizations I like to.
Just boxing and after school and education, all of it, right?
All of it.
That's good. That's good.
For me, you want just one, or I can do multiple too.
You can do multiple. Let's try to stick it to one. He's already got a nice group.
I would say just the one I lift up would be Carolyn Baker. Right across the street from Pingree Detroit is a place called the General Baker Institute.
Yeah.
It's community center. It's a hub where they do tons of community programming. They're rooted in this revolutionary philosophy, putting neighborhoods first, putting people first. They have bookshop, coffee shop in there, free space for programming for folks and groups, and they do like sewing classes there. Like we've done workshops there, and it's this kind of, you don't really see, but it's right off of of Livernois, right by U of D. They do great work. And the other one I'd say would be Amy Peterson with Rebel Nell. They do amazing work. They take fallen graffiti, when it's peeled off the walls, the paint chips from buildings, they take those paint chips, and then women overcoming domestic abuse situations or homelessness, they employ them to create jewelry from this. They make wine stoppers, necklaces.
That's interesting.
They're an amazing, our team toured their space when we were first starting and inspired our socks off. They're also an L3C just like us. So they're also a social impact company. So I'd lift up those two.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's give all those people their crowns for being incredible, impactful community members.
Indeed.
So I'm going to go with a little bit more of what the upcoming holiday is, Father's Day. So for one more crown, like I said, I'm going to go with two people. I'm going to go with both of my grandfathers. They were, one, I'm named after both of them.
Okay.
My name is Robert John Solano Sanchez. So Robert is my mom's dad, and John was my dad's dad. And it's not even exactly their names. It's Roberto and Johnny. So, or Juanito. I honestly don't even know what's on his birth certificate. But yeah, so I'm named after both of them. And the reason I wanted to crown them this podcast is because they were really big in charity. They both have received awards for doing community work. My grandfather, Robert, my mother's father, he did a lot of work at Latino Family Services in Southwest Detroit for many years. And my other grandfather, Grandpa Sanchez, he did a lot of work at a lot of soup kitchens throughout the city. It was All Saints, which is also was in Southwest Detroit, which I'm not sure if it's even there anymore because with all the bridge construction and all that. But so that's it. I want to nominate them because the impact they've had on me to want to continue my version of community impact.
That's what's up.
Love it.
Thank you. So before we wrap up, is there anything you guys want to announce with Pingree? Anything you want to plug? Like, how can people get a hold of you? How can people find you? I know you said already Eastern Market and Rust Belt Market. If you want to go on and tell me a little bit more.
Oh, definitely. Definitely join our newsletter on our website, pingreedetroit.com, PINGREE Detroit.com. Join that newsletter. You get those monthly updates and a dad joke in there. Definitely check us out at Eastern Market on the weekends. Shed 2 on Saturdays, Shed 4 on Sundays, Shed Saturdays from 6:30 to 4, Sundays 8:30 to 4 as well. Yep. And then Rust Belt Market 2 on 9 Mile and Woodward.
And to all those amazing international listeners, we do ship globally. For our amazing Brazilian and Icelandic and German listener, hey, we can ship you and we can offset that footprint. And then to today's point, we'd love to stay connected with folks. The same at Pingree Detroit on social, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest. Soon we'll have other channels as well. And then, we are this connection point to a story that we're all telling together. And so we want to be a part of, every purchase makes that much more leather diverted and creates this meaningful work. Every time someone is inspired to do their own thing and we can support them in some way or we can inspire, like we're not here just to create things. We're here to inspire. That's our number one job. Absolutely. So honored to be in the pod with you.
Thank you.
Only suggestion, maybe next time, have like a little, those like Burger King crowns, have those for your guests to wear.
Man.
Or like a super
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I
or
want
like
to get
Crown Royal, something. It's got, it all ties it all together.
At least, let me get the bag.
the bag.
Takes the opportunity. It was a blast.
Do you have any upcoming products coming out besides the tray?
Good question. So we are always developing new things. We have some that I can't name right now just because we gotta keep under wraps, but we got some really exciting announcements about new stores. Yeah, new stores coming. Potentially even our first brick and mortar. We might be announcing that soon as well. So stay tuned for that. And then new collabs with new groups and organizations. And there are always products in the works. So
that's awesome. I love it.
Thank you. And I will say, when Nate talked about that newsletter, if you enter that newsletter, you enter for a chance to win a one-of-one pair of shoes made by his hands. And then
that newsletter out yet?
You go on our website. Every time you go on our website, if you already signed up, you already entered.
The raffle, I think, will be 11/11.
Yep,
So
every Veterans Day. Yep.
Veterans Day.
And then just like the giveaway that you had. Sometimes we'll do giveaways when we first drop a product. So for folks to follow us on social,
absolutely,
click that little icon that gives you notification when something goes live, and we'd love to keep folks updated.
Absolutely.
Just a heads up, footwear is unisex. They go from men's 3 all the way up to 15 as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And don't forget, go shop on PingreeDetroit.com and enter code CROWNS, CROWNS, for 10% off your purchase, excluding footwear, unfortunately.
Oh, yes.
So I just want to say thank you again for coming on the show. This has been incredible. I'd love to be able to learn everything there is to know about Pingree. So I'll definitely reach out again, and we'll maybe I can come tour the factory. I didn't get to do the chance last time because I was like, you know what? Let other people go. I'm already involved in some way, you know. So before we get to the end of the show, I want to tell you, you've each earned your crown. So Jarret, Nate, congratulations. Thank you for coming. My name is Robert Solano Sanchez. I'm your host for the Motor City Crowns podcast, where passion reigns and excellence is crowned. Don't forget to shop small and support local businesses. I will see you next time.